This video is sponsored by Surfshark, the best VPN on the market. Surfshark is an Opera browser extension that allows you to change your location to access websites in other countries and keep you safe and secure from hackers. Using Surfshark, we here in Ireland can access other countries' Netflix libraries or other streaming platforms like DAZN in Spain for all those important Premier League games. Surfshark keeps you safe and private by protecting everything you do online. Everything. When your device connects to the internet, all that information is, in a way, blurred out. Surfshark is particularly useful for keeping you safe from being hacked if you use public Wi-Fi. Let's say you're in a cafe, you're at college, you're out and about, they've got you covered. Surfshark allows you to use one subscription on unlimited devices, meaning you can share your account with friends or family or that neighbour who's a little bit cheap. On top of all of this, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can also upgrade to Surfshark One, which includes the VPN, an alert system for breaches related to your data such as emails and credit cards, and an antivirus software for your desktop. Our sign-up offer gives you Surfshark VPN for a little over €2 a month and you'll get an additional 3 months free. Simply scan the QR code on screen right now or use the link in the description and enter the code Anfield Agenda at checkout. What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to today's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. As always, we're going to take you through the latest news surrounding Liverpool Football Club, asking you guys to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like on it, and if you haven't yet subscribed, well, you know what we want you to do, right? So today is a bit of a strange one. Not only am I going to be giving you some quotes from Pep Lijnders' press conference ahead of the Leicester City game tomorrow, where he does give a bit of insight into what type of team maybe we can expect. There's also a crazy story that I'm going to start off with today, and that news is that apparently Sofyan Amrabat was a mere few hours away from becoming a Liverpool player before Liverpool changed direction. So, confused? Don't worry, I was as well. But here's the story. So, this was posted today on Twitter X I guess it's called these days, formerly Twitter, and it's in relation to Chris Wheeler, who's a journalist. He said, Sofyan Amrabat was hours away from joining Liverpool this summer. Jurgen Klopp phoned Amrabat personally to try and persuade him to join us. Amrabat's camp put talks on hold for 24 hours, and according to Chris Wheeler, Liverpool then went and signed Ryan Gravenberch. Now, I don't know whether this story is true or isn't true, but there's a couple of things about it that I've heard previously. This Liverpool phoning Sofyan Amrabat personally, or Jurgen Klopp phoning him personally, that's no breaking news. That's been around for a while, but to the best of my recollection, that news was last January, I think. If Jurgen spoke to him in the time between then and now, I can't say for certain, but it is interesting that if Liverpool were looking at Amrabat, that they very quickly went over to get Ryan Gravenberch, because we all know Gravenberch was a long-term option for Jurgen Klopp, and Liverpool were waiting to see if Bayern Munich would be willing to sell. So I'm very sceptical about the idea that Liverpool just pulled the plug on Sofyan Amrabat after 24 hours and then decided to go all in on Ryan Gravenberch that quickly. Doesn't really strike me as something that I think Liverpool would have done. But that being said, Amrabat is a Manchester United player and we have Ryan Gravenberch, so I'm quite happy with how it worked out for us. Again, we'd love to know what you guys think. Let us know in the comment section. Now, ahead of the game tomorrow against Leicester City, plenty of stuff today to take from Pep Lijnders' press conference. Lijnders usually does the League Cup press conferences, so this is a few things he's had to say. We'll start off with quotes around Caoimhín Kelleher. Now, of course, Kelleher will be playing in the League Cup. He did get minutes, of course, in the Europa League as well, so happy that Caoimhín stayed around, but it seems like this was part of the plan. So Pep Lijnders said Kelleher has a long-term contract. He can play in any team in the Premier League. He's a world-class goalkeeper, and we give compliments for it gives a good compliment for Alisson's role. Kelleher needs game time. It's good that he stayed with us. Jurgen gave him perspective. Now that's interesting, right? Because we didn't know what was going to happen with Caoimhín Kelleher. We were saying all summer that, you know, if a club came in and offered him first team football, would Liverpool stand in his way? What's the right thing for him to do? But taking the quote there from Pep Lijnders, it seems that Jurgen personally took time to speak with Caoimhín and I guess give him some reassurances that he would get minutes this season. And I think you'll agree, I certainly agree with Pep Lijnders, that Liverpool are very blessed to have a keeper the calibre of Caoimhín Kelleher as the backup to Alisson. So I'm personally happy he stayed, but I would have understood it either way. Speaking about Thiago, who's still not ready, by the way, still not available to come back into the first team squad. He said, "We miss Thiago and his quality. We want him back. He's still not back in training, but he's healing. Time will tell how that goes." I have to say, folks, I'm very, very confused at the idea of Liverpool looking to give Thiago a new deal. I really am baffled by it. It's been great having him at the football club. You can sit here and talk about the positive attributes Thiago has, but I just can't get away with the fact that he's just not reliable. And with this iteration of this Liverpool midfield, I just don't see where he really gets minutes in it. We've refreshed our midfield. We've a young, hungry, energetic midfield. And I just think at the end of this season, when Thiago's contract is up, it just feels a natural time to say thank you and wish him the best. But, you know, maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Let me know in the comments section. Again, speaking about Curtis Jones, this is what he had to say. "I'm really proud of Curtis. He was with us in the academy and he's now played 100 senior games. If you see last season, the last phase of it, we changed our setup and it gave midfield energy at that moment. We really needed it at that time. He deserves his starts this season." Again, I agree wholeheartedly with what Pep Lijnders said there. I've been one of Curtis Jones' biggest critics here on Anfield Agenda, but I'm not too proud to admit when I'm wrong. And Curtis Jones turned it round last season. As Pep Lijnders said there, his performances, the energy he brought to that midfield at the end of last season really did seem to give us that kick up the backside and push us towards the good end to the season that we had. Not good enough to sneak into a Champions League spot, but Curtis deserves his starts this season and I don't think he's let anybody down. So I totally agree with Pep Lijnders on that one. The next quote that we have for you guys is just around team selection in general. Pep said, "Normally in the Cups we give debuts, but we're not here for just that. Players need to develop. I really feel, and Jota said to me, the best thing into 2021-22 season when we went for 4 trophies was that we stayed in the League Cup for so long. Everybody gets game time, everybody gets minutes, it's healthy for the squad." And I agree with that. It is very important when you are looking to keep a squad happy that you go deep in these domestic cup competitions. If you're going to have a season where you say to the likes of Caoimhín Kelleher, maybe Ben Doak and other players that you're going to get more minutes, you want to go deep in those competitions. And thankfully, I think the Leicester City game should be a straightforward enough game tomorrow night. And hopefully we can go deep in the League Cup again this year. Merely because, one, I like the League Cup. I personally prefer it to the FA Cup. I know you disagree with me. Most people do. I just have an affinity with the League Cup. I think it comes down to, remember when they moved Wembley, they were doing up Wembley and they moved it to Cardiff. We just had a run at that point in both domestic cups that was just phenomenal. And ever since then, I've just had an affinity towards the League Cup. So tomorrow, when we take on Leicester City, a game, by the way, that we will be covering here on Anfield Agenda, our watch-along coverage will start from about 6:45 tomorrow evening. To the best of my knowledge, this game won't be on in the UK, so you're going to have to get creative if you'd like to watch it. But if you can't watch it, why not come along and join us for the watch along? We did the preview that went out earlier on. I hope you guys got a chance to have a look at it. I went through, guess my predicted 11 for the game, my score prediction, and I think it's going to be a high scoring affair. I think, if my memory's right, I went 4-2 to Liverpool. But if you haven't watched it, again, we'd love to know your thoughts on that one. And I think that's about it for me today, my friends, with regards to the latest news stories. There was one rumour yesterday that I never got to mention. Apologies, I'm still a bit snotty today. I'm still a bit under the weather, so I'm just trying to get through this video. Today, there was a story yesterday actually around Thiago, which is kind of at odds with what I mentioned at the start of this video when I said Liverpool could be looking to extend Thiago. This story yesterday suggested that Liverpool are bracing themselves for an offer in January and that Liverpool would be willing to sell Thiago if the right offer came in. I have to say, I'd be fully on board with that. Now, what made me doubt the story was Liverpool were expecting a big offer. He's got 6 months left to go. Technically, he can sign a pre-contract in January and leave Liverpool at the end of the season for nothing. So I think if an offer came in that worked for Thiago and Liverpool were willing to go and invest some money in, say, Andre as an example, I'd be all for it. I still think we do need a couple of little adjustments in that team. We need to bring in another centre-back. We need to bring in another midfielder. And then I think we're pretty much done, bar, you could argue, I guess, a bit of fullback. So that is it from me, my friends. Now it is over to you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Again, we'll be live 6:45 tomorrow. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support of the channel. Much love as always. Bye bye.